Who remembers that absolute fever dream of a film that was Jim Henson's Labyrinth from 1986? We have a young Jennifer Connelly navigating a surreal maze to rescue her baby brother from David Bowie and his army of goblin puppets. This is one of my favorite films of all time, and today I'm so excited to dive deep into the ways this story draws upon symbols from folklore, witchcraft, and occult traditions to map a journey from girlhood to divine femininity. Welcome to the Numinous Eye. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Samantha. I'm a scholar of comparative religions and English literature, and I'm here to discuss the fascinating world of spiritual philosophy and the many ways it appears in art, from novels and films to music and television. This is a space where we explore the intersection of religion and pop culture by interpreting the spiritual symbolism hidden inside the stories you know and love. So if that's something you're into, stick around and let's get into the video. Throughout literature and mythology, the labyrinth appears as a symbol for sacred journeys or pilgrimages. To walk a labyrinth was to become lost, but in doing so, a process of spiritual and psychological transformation takes place. Jim Henson's Labyrinth is a whimsical 1980s fantasy film that I think represents a sort of spiritual initiation process for the protagonist Sarah, much like those we see in witchcraft and occult traditions. It's a coming-of-age tale in which the heroine matures from the maiden archetype to the mother archetype. When a childish wish comes true, Sarah must journey to the center of the labyrinth, navigating an unpredictable landscape, encountering strange creatures, solving riddles, and learning how to make and trust new friends. Each obstacle along her path contributes to Sarah's growing maturity and her increased self-awareness, so that by the end of the film, she rejects all self-doubt and steps into a higher version of herself. The film's character and puppet designs are based on the work of illustrator Brian Froud, who draws heavily upon European folklore and fairy tales. Writer Terry Jones of Monty Python fame gained inspiration for the script from stories like Alice in Wonderland, The Wizard of Oz, and the Tales of the Brothers Grimm. The film became a cult classic largely thanks to David Bowie's portrayal of Jareth, the Goblin King, the glittery glam rock master of the realm. This character embodies the classic trickster archetype that could be likened to the magician tarot card. Jareth operates as an antagonist, governing a realm where time and space are malleable and nothing is as it seems. He can be interpreted as a kind of dimensional wizard, a being who manipulates perception and tests the boundaries of Sarah's will. His power lies in seduction. He offers Sarah an opportunity to escape her mundane life and find her fantasies and dreams come true. But at a cost. He will turn her baby brother into a goblin and keep him forever. This aligns Jareth closely with figures from Fey folklore, the ambiguous and enchanting beings who exist between worlds. He's also a shapeshifter. He can transform into an owl. Owls have long been associated with witchcraft and wisdom. Opposite the Goblin King, Sarah emerges as a figure of latent feminine power, often interpreted as a kind of witch in training. Her journey is marked by a gradual recognition of her own agency and the consequences of childlike naivety and impulsivity. One major lesson she learns is the power of words and the importance of choosing them wisely. At the beginning of the film, she makes a wish that invokes magical forces, speaking words that alter reality without fully comprehending them. Later, she speaks flippantly about the labyrinth itself, claiming that it's a piece of cake, only for Jareth to up the stakes by running up the clock. But as she progresses through the labyrinth, Sarah learns to communicate more clearly, ask the right questions, and to consider the consequences of her words and actions. This trajectory mirrors initiatory frameworks found in various esoteric traditions, where the development of power coincides with the cultivation of responsibility. Part of Sarah's growth is about mastering her power and learning how to act with intention. She comes to understand that words are spells. Whenever I see mind-altering substances in a story, I like to pause to take a look at how the transcendental experience contributes to the narrative overall. Plant medicines and psychedelics are important to many spiritual traditions, as they can shift perception and give the user access to mystical insights. In Labyrinth, this happens when Jareth gives Sarah an enchanted peach. One bite whisks her away to a dreamlike masquerade ball, where she must confront the deepest layers of her psyche. The symbolism of the mask implies a confrontation with the shadow self, with insecurities that keep her from living authentically. Her dance with Jareth could represent repressed desires and a step towards her femininity. Unfortunately, the use of mind-altering substances in this film was neither consensual nor ceremonial, but this aligns with a broader esoteric caution that altering states of consciousness without first grounding your energy and intention can be a trap. The ballroom vision is meant to distract Sarah from her path. In psychological terms, it resembles a regression into fantasy. In occult terms, it can be understood as a glamour, a spell that distorts perception. The sweetness of the peach reinforces this dynamic. It's a pleasurable and inviting and seemingly harmless, yet its effect is to disorient Sarah and delay her progress. When she rejects this illusion and shatters the bubble and returns to her mission, she has taken an important step forward in her initiation, gaining wisdom by gaining control of her perception. Another one of the film's most quietly subversive symbols is the 13-hour clock. Traditionally, both timekeeping and astrology are structured around the number 12. 12 hours on a clock, 12 months in a year, and most significantly, 12 houses in the zodiac, each representing a distinct domain of human experience. The number 12 implies completeness and a reliable cosmic system. So by introducing a 13th hour, the film disrupts that sense of order. Symbolically, the number 13 is associated with what lies beyond structured systems. If the 12 houses of the zodiac represent the full map of the self, then the 13th hour gestures towards something beyond that map, a space beyond the veil where the established rules no longer apply. The 13th hour pushes even further into a space of spiritual awakening. It's the moment when an initiate must confront the artificiality of the system itself. And in the film, Sarah's awakening takes place in the 13th hour. She realizes that Jareth's power, and by extension, the entire structure of the labyrinth, is contingent upon her belief in it. The moment she understands this, she casts the final spell. You have no power over me. We hear the clock chime and the illusion shatters. So what do you think? Does this final declaration mark the end of Sarah's initiation journey to becoming a powerful witch? As we've seen, Labyrinth draws from many mythological and occult themes to reinforce this narrative of spiritual growth and transformation. I swear it gets deeper and deeper each time I watch it. When you look past the surface of this dizzy and whimsical film, you begin to spot some meaningful messages. You can let me know in the comments below how you interpreted this film. I would love to hear what you think. This is precisely the kind of work I like to do here on the Numinous Eye, so if you enjoyed this video, please stick around as we continue to explore the spiritual philosophy hidden in plain sight. Until next time, keep those eyes open.